Hi everyone, I'm Anthony DeMoro and welcome to the latest entry in SportsRantz University. Today I'm going to do a brief overview on how to share your blog posts and promote them. And no, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just putting your link on Facebook or posting your link on Twitter. We're going to get a little bit more involved in that, but briefly. So this is all you new bloggers out there, anybody who's new to blogging or new to blogging on SportsRantz.com. I'm going to offer you some tips on how I personally share some of my articles. Alright, so first off, you guys are going to have to remember to think outside the box. Now what I mean by this is, though there is a world outside of Facebook and Twitter, and there are readers and an audience outside of Facebook and Twitter, and you have to pay attention to these guys. You know why? Because they're people just like you and I, and 9 out of 10 times, they're sports fans. So you're going to want these guys to start reading your article posts. So the question is, how do you capture this audience's attention? Quite simple, you got to do your due diligence. Now, personally, I just want to preface this with saying we're going to get into some really meat and potatoes on how to truly use Twitter. And yes, there is a way to use Twitter without just tweeting. There's actually a science to it. I know, right? Twitter has a science. Imagine that. Well, blogging has a science too, and so does sharing and posting and doing it creatively and doing it in a good way. Now, a lot of people just take their link, they throw it on Twitter, and they throw a hashtag on it, and they just post a link and expect people to read it. And then you wonder why you may not have the numbers you think you might have. Well, let's use an example. If you got 5,000 followers on Twitter and only 2 people are reading your blog, you're probably doing something wrong. So we're going to try to alleviate that right now. Now as we move on, everybody, there's a couple of websites I really want you to check out, and the mainstays are Twitter, the mainstays are Facebook. Also check out a site called dig.com. Dig is really cool, especially if you're serious about getting into blogging and building an audience. Dig is it's a social media site where people share articles, news stories, videos, press releases, stuff like that. And they can follow each of these articles and pieces according to which topic they want. So for instance, if you're into politics, you're going to follow a lot of people who write about politics, and thus your newsfeed will be full of politics. So Dig is a free site, really cool to check it out, and it's a nice habit to get into because it shares your information with more people who may be looking for sports. Now guys, I want to stress this. There is a word out there that's kind of widely misused. It's called interactive. Now, people think because they have a Twitter profile or a Facebook profile that they're interactive. Well, interactive is a two-way street. So you can't just go on to Twitter and start posting your links to your articles and expect people to magically read them. There will be people who will read them, but if you really want to maximize this stuff, interact, which means communication, two-way street people. So read other people's articles, comment on their posts on tweet, when they tweet something or they Facebook post and say, hey, I really like this. Actually read the article, guys, because spamming and spam bots use the tactic of, oh, this is a great article I just read. So don't do that. Try to say something specific about the article. If they're writing about Mark Teixeira, who I've been bashing on Twitter lately, if they're writing about Mark Teixeira's abysmal batting average, make a comment about it. Agree or disagree, raise a point. Ask them to reference your blog. But don't reference a blog post that has nothing to do. Like if he's talking baseball about the Yankees, don't reference him with a football blog or a soccer blog. Reference him with a baseball post or something that he can find kind of similar ground with his article, his or her article. So that's key. And remember, consistency is a huge thing. The more you do things on Twitter and Facebook, posting things, and not just posting your blog post links, the more you interact on there, tweet about or Facebook post about stuff related to what you write about, the more people are going to be interested and the more people are going to want to follow you and thus read your articles. Also, another great thing to do on Twitter and Facebook, believe it or not, is to ask questions. Ask for responses. Take an opinionated stance. Ask for feedback. People like doing this. They love knowing that their opinions are heard, so keep that in mind. And let's jump on over and I'll show you a couple of things that I do right off the bat with my articles that hopefully can help you. Alright guys, now as you can see here, I brought you straight to a post I just wrote called Managing the Moolah. Now in SportsRantz, all your articles are going to be pretty much set up the same. The design is going to be different, obviously, between what I'm blogging on and what you guys are. But I want to point out a couple of things as we move on here. Now, notice how my content's all aligned. Now, everybody knows about their spacing, bold and highlight, topics of interest, bullet point, all that stuff. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. We're just going to act like you and I just wrote this blog post and we're ready to go. We just published it, so what's next? The great thing about SportsRantz.com is once your blog article is written, it automatically posts on your Rantivity stream, which means it's going to be across SportsRantz as it is. So you don't have to worry about posting on SportsRantz again, or promoting it to the audience on SportsRantz. It's already done. On the bottom here, you're going to see this little toolbar right here. Pin it for Pinterest, Google +1, a like for Facebook, a share for Facebook, a tweet for Twitter, Dig. Some of you might see Dig. Some of your icons might be a little bit different, but don't worry about that. The main point I'm trying to make here is use this little taskbar. Now, the beautiful way to do this is, let's say you and I just wrote Managing the Moolah here. You click on Share, and it brings up this fancy little box. When you're already logged into Facebook, where it only goes on your timeline. Now, most of you on SportsRantz.com are probably on Facebook and in a ton of groups, right? Well, go to one that you're most active in. You don't want to spam the heck out of every group on Facebook, because a lot of people 9 out of 10 times will kick you out of that group. So a good practice to get in is go right to Facebook, post it on your own timeline first, so all your friends and people who aren't in a group with you can read it as well, and your friends are probably going to support you and read your article, so make sure you post it there. Another move that is really great is post it in a group. Now, I'm very active on SportsRantz.com, so the SportsRantz group is a great place to do this. So I'll post it in SportsRantz. I'll say something, hey ranters, what do you think? And 9 out of 10 times we got such a great group that these guys respond to it, and I'll get some nice feedback. And typically people will disagree with me because I take an opinionated stance in my articles. We'll get to that in later editions in SportsRantz University, but for this lesson, definitely just keep this in mind. Make it sound intriguing. Say, hey, I took this interesting stance, or breaking news, or hey, check out this scenario array. What do you guys think? Really pose. So a lot of people aren't going to go and just click on the title, Managing the Moolah. Well, that seems like money management, but if they read the context of the article, they would know the title means something different. So make sure you can be specific here. For my article, Managing the Moolah, I compared how 3 to 4 players have handled their big contracts in Major League Baseball. Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, Carl Crawford. So what I would suggest if you wrote this article is I would say something like, hey ranters, interesting how people compare or bash on A-Rod. What do you think about how he's handled his contract in comparison to these other guys? Say something to give a little in-depth information on what the article is without expecting the reader to just click on a fancy heading. It's not going to happen. So keep that in mind. The same rules apply for every social site. Say something interesting. Give a little in-depth information about the article. Say, hey, I did this, or I have an opinion on this, or if you're highlighting a game, hey, these are my thoughts from the game yesterday. What do you think about this? Highlights your main point in the article and mention it in your post. Alright, so do the same on Twitter. You can tweet this, you can do a lot of things. You see how it shows up here. And this is what I said on Twitter in regards to the article. I said, we all love to bash A-Rod for this contract, but are we being fair? Check out this article and let us know your thoughts. And there's the link to the blog. Great, right? It basically lets people know, hey, this article mentions A-Rod. Oh, wow, this obviously touches on something that's an issue with A-Rod, with all the money he's making. So I immediately piqued people's interest with that. Continuing on, I mentioned this beautiful site called dig.com, right? Well, this is Dig, and Dig is awesome, and especially if you are in the world of, now if you're just casually blogging and you're just doing it for fun, hey, you don't have to worry about Dig. But if you really want to get your stuff out there and build a brand for yourself, get on Dig. It's absolutely free, and as you can see here, there's a ton of articles, I mean, that go up here daily. And people will thumb up, thumb down it. If you really get into Dig and you really like it, it's free. So you can go through, let's go to sports. There's all these tabs up here, and you go to sport. So look at all this. It's all, they're talking about a USHL goalie makes amazing barehanded save. I mean, you can find stuff on here. But you can see all these thumbs up and thumbs down. Listen, Dig is like any other social community. If you just go on there and you post your article and leave it be, chances are not too many people are going to read it. So make sure you read other people's articles, especially in the same area as you. You're interested in sports rants, or sports news rather, and sports topics? Well, start interacting with other people who are writing sports articles. Now, obviously, for me personally, I'm not going to click on Aston Martin announcing its 2012 Nürburgring. I can't even pronounce that, but I'm not interested in that. I'm interested more in this one-handed, amazing barehanded save. So I'm going to go there and maybe I'll comment on it and maybe I'll friend this guy. So, a lot of people have followers on Dig. Get followers on Dig, and that's digg.com. Alright guys, now continuing back to what I was saying with Sports Rants. It's quite simple, guys. You guys, consistency is key. Make sure that you are consistent with each of your posts, and this means asking people to agree or disagree. Now, point out this little thumbs up, thumbs down button as well. Use this as a voting tool. Someone disagree with you, somebody agree with you. Well, I'm going to thumb up myself because I'm agreeing with myself. But it's a good practice to get into. It shows you, don't get discouraged by that either. Just because people aren't thumb up or thumb downing your articles doesn't mean they're not reading it. It's just if somebody really agrees with you or disagrees with you. Like your own stuff. It's not bad. It shows, people when they're reading things, they want to be creatures of habit. And trust me, that's no slight on anybody. If they see there's 13 likes or people are already liking this, they're going to be more apt to like it. If they see people are sharing it, they're going to be more apt to sharing it. So keep that in mind. And remember, if you do not see a social icon up here, click share and save, and there's a whole bunch of them as well. If you have an email list of people who follow your blog, it's really good to do that. You have friends, keep a list of people who read your blog and respond. Keep a list of their emails, and then email them your latest article entry. It's a really good habit to get into. And then after a while, people are going to get used to coming to your blog and reading your articles. So keep that in mind. Alright guys, that is basically all I'm going to spiel on with you today. So remember that consistency is key, and if you want to really make it in the sports world, that's the way to do things with your article. So thanks for joining us on SportsRantz University, and remember, come on over to SportsRantz University, and I'm going to continuously post articles, in-depth articles of my background in internet marketing and search engine optimization and social media, and I'm going to show you how to best utilize the resources on SportsRantz.com and really turn yourself in from an average blogger to a super blogger. And as always, if you guys want more information or just want to know more about my spiels and my background, come on over to EliteRankMarketing.com. It is my SEO company. And you can see, if you're thinking to yourself, wow, Anthony, do you really know what you're talking about? Come on over here and read up about me. Read up about what I do and my knowledge. And of course, you can come on over and hit about and get there. And you can also read what, don't just take my word for it. Take what other companies have learned from me as well. And you guys will see that there's a ton of information on here as well if you really want to get in depth. But mainly, we're going to be doing everything on SportsRantz University. So, I'm Anthony DeMauro, and for SportsRantz.com and SportsRantz University, and have a good night, guys.